boom bam scheme. True.
We're recording.
Eh.
Oh, real thing. John, I was about to say something low.
True. Yeah, I was say something loose still.
Is it?
Alright, yo.
Mm-hmm.
What we gonna talk about?
Yo, remember that picture that we saw on Facebook? Or these white guys are walking in some like, inner city community wearing like slave chains and yokes.
Yeah.
Yep. Talk about that.
Alright, who will start it off?
I feel like this is like a really touchy topic still.
Yeah,
It's
very controversial.
That is a controversial. We should be a little
Well, we're always stepping into new you know what I'm saying?
Alright, well let's describe the picture, you know? To people who don't know, or even though the picture will be accompanied with the podcast. So people who don't know, there's a photo that went up on the day of Emancipation. Apparently there was some kind of demonstration. A couple of white guys. I don't know if they're foreigners. I'm not sure. You know,
they're foreigners.
They're foreigners.
Yes.
Basically, I don't know which community.
From different. They're foreigners from different places. I'm not really sure where, but they said the foreign Christians from different places.
Okay.
Right.
Well, they thought it was appropriate and necessary that on the day of our celebration of Emancipation, they put on yokes and chains and decided to walk through an inner city community with shirts that were screen printed to say sorry.
So sorry.
I said that smoking for a second. And these people are wearing shirts and sandals and
hats and shades and whatnot.
You know, so they're really and truly, they're just walking through a community with some chains and some yokes on themselves. And
I think they were also at the Jamaica 50 Village at the stadium. I think I saw an image that they were actually on stage. And
there's a black lady with like a cane, leading them down like the massa.
Really?
The massa. Yeah. I'm looking at it now. There's this
is there an article? Did someone write an article about it? Like that?
No, I think it was just a photo documentation. I don't think it was actually some write-up or anything. I think
they're gonna probably make an article about it soon. Like,
they might.
Probably gonna say something about it soon.
Well, let me just be honest. I think it's flipping ridiculous. You get me?
Flipping ridiculous, Matthew says.
I think it's ridiculous, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm going too hard, but I mean, I think, man, it's.
Alright, so Matthew thinks it's flipping ridiculous. Taj, what do you think?
I don't even know.
Taj Devons.
I didn't even know.
Alright, honestly, I found the image, initially I found the image a bit unsettling. I don't know, like there is something about it that I think at the time I wasn't actually thinking about it too much, but there's something about it that just kinda rubbed me the wrong way, you know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of things about it that should rub me the wrong way.
Yeah, alright.
Sorry.
Alright, let's just hold on for a second. Alright, so I think, I don't know, there's like a kind of insensitivity about it. I mean, I know that the intention was probably good. However, maybe it wasn't the best way to go about it. And people have done like atrocities in the name of good intention, you know.
Let me mess with that one point, like, and you can continue that. Your intentions and what you actually do, or what or the result of your intentions, two completely different things.
True.
So you could have the best of intentions. You could want to change the world, you could want world peace, but what you actually do or the results of those intentions are completely different.
True.
So, and I think that might be the case right now, why people might feel, you know.
Alright. Alright, I'm looking at this photo right now as we speak, and I'm trying to go through and I'm trying to find the cause or the causes for my initial reaction, right? Alright, so basically Matthew said, there's a bunch of guys in like yellow t-shirts. You know, they have like hats on, and you know, some of them have hats on and like shades and you know, sporting gear, like, you know, workout, exercise gear. It kind of similar to when you're going on like one of those charity walks. You know, people usually wear, you know, stuff like that. And they have these chains and the yokes, and if anybody's like seen those, you know, those illustrations of those slavery illustrations where they, you know, depicted the slaves in yoke and, you know, lined up in a line, you know, being led through whatever terrain, you know, in a line. It's basically that, right? And I don't know, it's something about it, because I mean, you know, when you have like a stage play, or you have even like parodies of stuff, right? Depending on what topic you're dealing with, you're going to come up against some sort of scrutiny, right? And usually the scrutiny that comes up against is based on the entertainment value, or whether somebody think they depicted it right or whatever. Like, you've seen it over and over again. Like, you have real life events and people always, you know, somebody always have something to say, like, oh, you know, never stick to the actuality of what happened, and, you know, who depicted it right and whatever, right? Now, this is not a play, alright? This is not a play.
Clearly not.
This is supposed to be an act of apology, right? I don't know. For some reason, I don't think. I mean, I don't know. Maybe somebody should be apologizing. I don't know, but I don't know why it should be these guys. I don't know. I'm just trying to get these thoughts out of my head to try to understand what made me so upset about this. And I mean, it seems like a belittling of the actual events that happened for them to be walking down in their sandals and hats and shades. You know, I don't know. It kind of feels like a mockery. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm being too sensitive about it. But it just kind of feels. Maybe that's probably what rubbed me the wrong way. It kind of felt like, you know how you had the minstrels and you know, they put on blackface and you know, paint their lips red, kind of. I mean, I'm not saying that's what they were doing, because as I said, you know, the intent was probably good, but I don't know, for some reason I don't think that this display correctly or respectfully, you know, shows, I mean, what happened, or has respect for what happened, or respect for the people it happened to, who, you know, were taken across the ocean and, you know, carried here to work, and, you know, were beaten upon and raped and tortured. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that, if you're thinking about all of that, and then look at this image with some guys in some yellow t-shirts with hats, and one guy looked like him have a water bottle in his pocket, and you know what I'm saying? It just feels wrong.
Alright, you know, I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know is this just a set of individuals that decided to just do this? Is this something backed by any is this backed by any kind of organization? Is this the government? I'm reading this. Alright, I'm gonna read the thing on the description on the photo, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And this is by this photo is by Donnet Ingrid Zaka. She's a photographer. She had nothing to do with this, with what was happening. She just took these photographs of what was happening, right? And she wrote on it, she says, I went out this morning in search of the best image representing the most powerful message in celebration of our 50th. Both Lime and Digicel has great messages. Close to midday, I was humbled by a group of white people that made me think twice. I met them walking through Fletcher's Land wearing yellow t-shirts with "So Sorry" written on them. They are representatives of nations involved in the transatlantic slave trade. The transatlantic slave trade. They are here to say sorry that their ancestors were involved in such dreadful practices. I thought that was probably the most impacting message of the day. Alright? So they didn't say in there that they were a part of any corporate thing or anything. It just seemed like a bunch of people who just decided to come together and just,
Let me step in for a sec, isn't it? Like, alright, let me tell you, first and foremost, I'd like to state clearly that as far as I am concerned, when I look at racism and I look at slavery, as far as I'm concerned, there's a time gone past. There's a time gone past that things happen. You get me? Things happen at time. And things are happening right now that, later on in time, people are going to look back and say, boy, we hope that never happens again. Things have happened. Yeah. And they're regrettable and everything, but, we'll continue and we'll move on. And these things, though negative, have kind of shaped the world that we live in right now. For good and for worse, you get me?
Yeah.
Now, my thing is that I'm looking at this photo, and the first time I saw it, I thought, alright, I'm wondering if these guys just decided that they wanted to know what it felt like then for a slave at that time. They want to know what it felt like.
I'm
No, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah.
When I saw it at first, before I analyzed the photo, I thought, because I was thinking to myself, I'm wondering if this was like one of those, I mean, like people visit like the ports in Bristol and stuff, and they put on the shackles and stuff, and they go into like the slaving ports and check it out, and they say they get to feel a sense of what it might have felt like. I thought that was going on. When I realized no, and I saw the t-shirts and everything, and I realized it was a bit of a, they're putting on a show for people to see and say, yeah, we are representatives and whatever, and we're trying to see. I was like, hold on here.
Okay.
You mean to tell me, you get me, that you are trying to come to a nation that was a part of this? So, I mean, people here are basically like the result.
Yeah.
I mean, like the reason why we're even here as black people is because of this, you get me?
Mm-hmm.
Talking through this community, you get me? These people's community, you get me?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these people are even in the ghetto because of your ancestors. And I'm not saying that it's there. And I'm not even trying to sit on here and say that I blame any of these people. You get me? But they think that it is appropriate, you get me, to like walk through this community and remind these people, right, on the day of our emancipation, remind these people why we came to this country, under the brutal circumstances that we came to this country. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
As well as the face of some of these people that might have brought us to this country. Now, however, I'm not saying that I'm upset about it, I'm just saying I could understand if somebody in Fletcher's Land might have felt offended. Because there's some people who are going to be like, what? Why are you even here? You're not here to give me any reparation dollars. Okay. You're not here. You're here to wear a yoke, walk through my community, and then leave back on a plane to go back to your country. And I am still going to be in the ghetto. So I'm thinking, like I'm sitting on and I'm watching this thing, and I'm saying I can't say if there's a better way to say you're sorry. I can't say that. I don't think that this is the best way to do it. And how the way the world is working, the way how human beings just seem to just gradually just advance, and people are getting more and more comfortable now with each other. I mean, there's a time people couldn't sit down beside each other on the bus. People can sit down beside each other on the bus now, and they might not, people may not be too happy about it. Some don't really care that much.
Yeah.
I mean, Run DMC did a song with the Beastie, we did a song with Aerosmith, and we just keep, pop culture just keeps pushing this thing forward, and we're getting close together and whatever. You get me? Like, it's happening naturally.
Yeah.
These were, it's like it's so forced, and I don't know these people, so I can't even say, boy, Tom and Jerry in this photo, them are good youths still, and I can.
Yeah.
No, there's no personal if I was living in Fletcher's Land and I woke up and I saw this, just be like,
I can imagine that. Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to stay in? Are you going to live in the community amongst us now? And like, what are you going to do? As in,
Funny you say that. Alright, somebody shared the photo, right? Somebody from Rastafari today shared the photo, and they wrote, oh, them a come with them long and with the rascal reparation money.
And I'm not, Mark, I'm not one of those persons. I am not.
And they will say, them not empty them bank account, them not cancel third world debt, sorry can't buy soldier Larry.
But hold on, no, I don't want anybody listening to get confused. We're not trying to say that we think these people are bad people, You get me? Like, and I'm not in any way trying to say that I'm sitting down here waiting for reparation dollars. I mean, I don't know if anybody else is waiting for that, but me personally, I just see this whole
long way.
This whole issue of racism and slavery. Growing up, I've always been kind of socialized to realize that it's just something that swept under the rug, and for some reason, normally you see something under the rug and it turns out to be a problem eventually, but for some reason, we don't all get it right the first time, but we'll gradually go on and we'll have some slip-ups, Black guy gets shot and the person who shoot him don't get sent to jail and them have a riot, and then we go again and then we'll have a slip-up again, but you know what? Like, as in...
Like, over time, I guess things get better,
Yeah, like, as in, I just don't think you need to do this. Like, I don't know, like, it's just not... That's why I say it's flipping ridiculous. Like, I just...
Yeah. Alright.
My take on it is that it probably shouldn't. It probably would have. I mean, it would have probably best if it was just left. Like just
don't say nothing.
Just leave it.
Just leave it alone. Don't.
Just no. That was they as in that shouldn't have been. I don't even think. As I say, it's wrong that they did. I don't even
That's why I said good intention. Wrong, good intention is different from what's actually done.
All right, you can't really knock some people for being proactive, because I mean I'm looking at these guys and I'm saying, all right, I mean probably for them they were just trying to be proactive. I'm probably see certain issues in the world, because all right, maybe we're not even giving them any credit. Maybe the same thing that Arastaman was saying about reparation or whatever. Maybe them see it too, and what I try. My thing is like I'm probably even thinking to myself, it probably would have been better that if they had just made like a short film, coming to Jamaica, and just say, like, look, meet us. You see me? This is the way how we're feeling about this thing.
Yeah.
We wore this thing, and like at the end of the day, they're saying, boy, like,
I think,
we're doing this thing, and I couldn't believe like how constricted like you feel, and I mean, I'm imagining like we're wearing clothes, and I mean, I can imagine that the slaves would have been. And they're probably sharing their experience of how they feel about it, you get me?
Yeah.
Like, probably that would have been a little bit better. Like, I probably would have been able to, like, have a personal connection with this, and I've been like, all right.
True.
These guys are being proactive and trying to...
I mean, in that case, I guess we'll probably have to see it play out, So,
well, yeah, I mean...
So this thing plays out. If it even plays out, if anything else comes from this. Which I think. Huh?
I don't see a camera crew walking around these people. I don't know, dog. I just think it was our accounting stuff.
Okay. Alright.
I think they probably jumped the gun a little. Maybe they needed to kind of think it through or somewhere.
Yeah, it did. I mean, because
something like.
There's a camera lady with like a still camera walking behind them. Maybe she's taking photo documentation, but I mean.
Who wouldn't take photo documentation? It's a bunch of white guys walking through the community with jokes.
It's kind of like a little spectacle, right?
Yeah.
I think that's probably what rubbed me wrong with. It's like Alright, this I just trying to get this idea out of my head, right? Like when you have a kid and you bring them into the supermarket and you take something off of the shelf, you take something off of the shelf, and you say no. Put it back, and then them don't put it back, but instead of putting it back, them make up a whole heap of and them grab onto your foot, and you're trying to, cause you're embarrassed, and you're trying to walk away, and them a hold on your foot, and you're just embarrassed, and it's just a big spectacle. I'm not saying that this is what this is, but it's like a sort of spectacle that kind of makes you embarrassed.
It overshadows.
Like
I mean, it overshadows
yeah.
real issue. You get me?
Yeah, no, because it's like, you know what it is too. All right, another issue, right? Look at this. Olympics going on, right? There's this female gymnastic gold medal winner from America. She's a black girl. Let me look up her name.
I wonder where I can get one of those T-shirts. Sorry, just outside.
So sorry. Sorry. All right, Gabby Douglas, right?
Yeah.
Makes history in women's gymnastics, as the U.S. has gold in the Olympics, right? She's the only African American female to win a gold medal in gymnastics. The only other African American female gymnast to win any individual Olympic medal was Dominique Dawes, who took the bronze for her floor exercise in 1996. So she's the first black American to win a gold medal in gymnastics, right?
Yeah.
Now, you think this would be the huge deal, but you know what overshadowed all of this on Twitter is a bunch of people making comments about how untidy her hair is.
Wow.
Like a lot of people like their tweets with people saying, "Oh, you know, good job, girl. But geez, somebody couldn't fix up your hair." And it's mostly like black people making these comments, right?
Yeah.
Colonialism.
And it's like,
colonialism.
I mean, this girl's her hair is straightened, right? And she has like some kind of gel, and she have it up in like a kind of loop ponytail thing, right? And honestly, and somebody in the article I was reading, somebody was saying it, like her other teammates who aren't black, their hair don't look any, any more neat. I mean, some of them have the same exact hair thing that she having. You know what I'm saying? Some of them hair is in the same kind of ponytail with the pins and the hair sticking out and whatever. I mean, these people are working, you see me, I work, and I chicken them a jerk, you see me?
You see me?
True.
And I expect them for them here for a bit, you see me? But it's
not
like,
a beauty.
It's unfortunate that it's overpowered by a bunch of people who like have the same hair texture as her, saying that, gee, somebody couldn't do something with her hair. No, granted, right?
You know, I have to set it up.
Granted, like there's a lot of flack. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it's a cultural difference, but I know there's a whole heap of thing about people saying whether black women's hair should be straightened or left natural, and if your hair left natural in some parts of the world, people are saying, geez, you couldn't straighten out your hair. Some parts of the world, people's like, yo, black and we're proud, you see me, boom, this is our natural hair texture. Honestly, for me, I love a woman with natural hair, you see me?
Yeah.
And I love it, you see me? And it's like, we have this term where we say whether or not you have good hair, if your hair not curly or whatever, you say you don't have good hair. Honestly, I even saw this on Facebook. Good hair is hair that you keep well, you keep it moisturized, you keep it, you see me? As in, it doesn't matter what your texture of your hair is. Once you keep your hair well, it's good hair, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's really unfortunate that's the thing that like overshadowed this girl's gold medal. Like, just imagine her, being happy about it, and then probably she read a news story and they're talking about her hair, and she's like, Jano, boy, as in, how you supposed to feel about that, you know what I'm saying?
India.Arie have a song about this, and that song is very underrated, Have you ever heard that song India.Arie made?
I'm not my hair.
The song is a powerful song, dog. Let me tell you something. You see, when I was a youth, when I was about probably 12. Marky, before I was about 12, I was one of them youth that I grew up in a world. This is post-colonialism. You get me? Mm-hmm. So I'm growing up in a Jamaica that there are certain things that were just norms to me. I went to a prep school where the girls all came to school the best that they could to straighten out them hair, and and as far as I was concerned, black girl, white girl, don't matter, Indian girl, don't matter. Everybody was just making sure them hair them hair was on point. You get me?
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess as a you don't really understand
Mm.
like this whole idea of like racism and like colonialism.
Yeah.
Really fully understand it. But as far as you're concerned, girl must straighten out them here. You get me?
Boy.
I know. I mean, when I was a youth, I remember like when girls would come to school and they would talk about how that their mother sit them down like the night before or like 2 days ago and how the mother sit down and them. And I mean, I don't know the process, but
No, well, honestly, I mean, I think it's probably a difference in. I think different households deal with it differently, cause you saying that, like, I remember for my cousin, like my grandma was raising my cousin, and she couldn't get her hair straightened until she reached her teens. So in like primary school and stuff, like she just had plaits and bubbles, and you see me, she didn't straighten her hair until she was like in like probably third form, and my grandmother is a hairdresser. So I mean, it's not like a matter of cost or anything, because she could do it herself. It's just she say, yo, little girls need to have them hair a certain way, and you don't need to be worrying about your hair at a certain age. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, actually, that's the same. I'd agree with you, Ken. That's how I saw it as well. That's how I knew most girls around me.
Yeah.
The parents didn't allow them to straighten their hair
until they were until they were
high school teenagers.
You see, it's funny. It's funny because I remember. You see, the prep school I went to I wouldn't say I went to a popular prep school. I went to a prep school that was basically in a residential area. I went to Meadowbrook Prep. You get me?
Yeah.
So in a residential area, I mean, it's relatively low-key. Not many people know about it. It's not like it was a school it's not like a vase or, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
The people that really went to my prep school were mostly people that lived in like more like the suburbs, like around the area and like Meadowbrook and stuff, and like people that probably, I mean, most of the people were mostly uptown too. I won't lie to you, you get me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I remember, dude, as in, I'm going to be very, I mean, probably it was just a microorganism of like the bigger world at that time. But dude, these girls that went to my prep school were like they were fashionable. I remember that. I remember these girls knew like this whole like the trend. They used to carry these beauty magazines to school and stuff. You get me?
Seen at prep like grade 6, grade 5?
Grade 6? No, man. Back when we were in 4th grade, I mean. These girls
I mean, no, well, that's not like, I mean, I went to a prep school too, and I mean, I don't remember necessarily seeing that, but I mean, there is some force rape kind of thing sometimes, but I figure that's every place. I mean, me and Taj were even talking about it yesterday, about the whole, that's a different conversation. Anyway, yeah, going through.
But I mean, as in, alright. I mean, I remember I used to see these girls, and I used to see them talking about these things, and I remember even like back when I was in prep school, like the real trend at that time was like belly skin. All these girls had. I mean, you saw them on the weekend. All these girls had belly skin. I mean, they were. I mean, yeah, probably had one or two. 4? Yeah. You probably had one or two girls that probably weren't up on fashion all that much, but the majority, you get me? And I remember very, very clearly as a youngster seeing like the girls in my class like understanding like this whole idea of you have to straighten your hair, you have to wear makeup. I mean, they probably didn't wear makeup, but they looked up. Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, we're back. So yeah, just start what you're saying about belly skin and thing. Yeah,
like I remember these girls used to sit on. They used to probably looking at like a beauty magazine and they would look at a girl and they would. I remember them saying, "Yeah, man, she looks pretty. That girl doesn't look pretty. She looks pretty. She doesn't look pretty." And I remember like I used to see like certain girls who would still look pretty and heavily airbrushed. I mean, straight hair that was probably flowing in the fan, like flowing in the wind created by the fan that was on set during the
yeah.
I mean, probably relatively revealing. And I remember there was a certain innocence to it. I mean, it's not like these girls, like,
it fully broke out.
Like, you know what I mean? So, I knew it from way.
Are them parents?
Yeah, probably their parents. I mean, probably a older sister. I don't know. You get me? I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember
our TV.
When I hit
TV. Yeah, that's probably it.
When I hit 12, I remember I heard that in like probably 12 or 13, I heard the India.Arie song for the first time. And it never even clicked to me that someone could even be defined by their hair.
Wait, hold on. You heard that song when you were...
And I was like probably 13, 14.
That song is that old? I thought it was...
Yeah, it's pretty old actually.
Remember I'm younger than you, Natash.
Continue.
Yeah.
I remember that song. I remember I was going to camp. Like I was going to a summer camp over by the golf course, Editech.
Yeah.
I remember I wasn't that high up in high school yet when I went to that camp. So I remember being around that age. But like it never even occurred to me at that age that someone could even be like, here was this big huge debate on skin color. Like it never even occurred to me, because as far as I was concerned, when I saw the video for that song and she's talking about like making reference to like Oprah and making reference to cut it all off like certain people and like Afrocentricity, I was like, what the hell is going on? And I looked around.
Yeah.
I even looked at my mom. My mom had braids in at that time, and I was like, holy shit. And I looked at lots of the black girls that I knew, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, so like really, it was a shocking revelation for me. I don't know if it was a shocking for some people, but for me, it was shocking. I became obsessed with it. For like weeks, I was there researching things about like, I mean, that's probably the first time I even started like looking up stuff about Egypt and stuff like that. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, it was that powerful to me.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely something that's instilled in the culture now, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? We're even saying it that it seems as if... Remember, somebody was saying the other day that it seems as if, like in England, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Where...
Yeah.
That conversation.
Yeah, where like all the black girls, you know, just wearing out their natural hair, and you know, it's the thing, you know.
But I mean, you know that now even in Jamaica, that's it's becoming.
Yeah,
it's becoming more popular now.
It's the whole globalization thing, man.
Yeah, it's a global. Yeah, I mean, yeah, globally, it's becoming now.
I don't know how it happened, but for some reason, I mean, everybody listening right now should realize that in the past couple of years, or probably 2 years, or probably a year and a half, there's been a real resurgence of Afrocentricity. You get me? Like in terms of a lot of, I go on blogs right now, like fashion blogs.
Yeah.
Right now is
because I mean, I think we're going back to that.
And natural here.
Everything's kind of 80s centric, like even the music and stuff.
Yeah.
Like even like, you know, like Rihanna and like a lot of the beats and stuff. Like they're going back to 80s, ASAP Rocky and you know them people.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's only natural for the fashion to come back with it too. It's probably even the reverse.
So that's why I'm wondering. I kind of have to question it. Is it just trend? As in, is it just how trend? You know, trend cycles. Like
yeah.
So is it a situation where it's just trend cycling, or is it actually like an line, or is it knowledge, or
I think it's probably more the trend.
More a trend, yeah. Because I wonder
it's both. I think it's both. You know, you want to know why? I find it funny because I don't know. I was never really up on Tumblr. Like I was never somebody that was like up on Tumblr like in the past couple of years when Tumblr really started boom. But I used to always read just random blogs, and I would remember just blog surfing. Like I'd spend hours and hours and hours blog surfing, and I remember like probably back when I was in high school. Some of the biggest things I probably saw on blogs was not necessarily like this whole DIY, everybody doing Photoshop, everybody putting up edited pictures. Like, it's mostly just like electronics and like concept electronics and like concept products and like probably fashion, high fashion and stuff like that. Like it really celebrity blogs and stuff like that. But like I see like a lot of like blogs popping up now where it's like specifically geared towards the idea of like the black perspective in everything. Yeah. Like as in I look at it like I was even watching BET, it's not on BET, I was watching VH1 today, and there's a show that was coming on about there's an advertisement for a show that's going to be coming on about how currently there's never really been a specific like black perspective on the current events that are taking on in the world, the recession, presidential debates and whatever. So the show is going to be like basically taking it from like the black community, which I mean, you agree with it or you disagree with it. I mean, whatever, you get me? But like there was a time, dude, where like to even like advertise something like that would have been kind of like how I don't think other agencies would have probably even known how to approach that without kind of seeming a bit weird. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I mean, you always had BET, but remember VH1 now is like, I mean, it's VH1, you get me? And this is like one of those pop culture setters, you get me? And I don't think it's a matter of them trying to like offer up the black perspective, and I think it's just a reaction to the times because there's such a resurgence of Afrocentricity, you get me? It's just following the fact that that's what the consumers want right now, you get me? However, I do believe that because that's what the consumer wants right now, a lot of people are actually doing their homework on things now. Because people are seeing the imagery and they want to know what it is. We have it at our fingertips now. It's the simplest thing. It's not a matter that people are just that hungry, but Google is just too simple. If you see the Ankh, you know, the Ankh, which is the that symbol for eternal life, that the thing like across the loop on top. If you see an imagery of the name, you're clearly going to Google it. That's the age that we live in right now, and people are learning by default, I think. You get me? So I think,
Alright. Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, like, alright, so where's the direction we're going in now? I mean, we've been saying that it's slowly happening, but do you think, how soon do you think everything will be alright?
Alright, boy.
What do you mean?
You mean equal? You mean like level?
Not necessarily equal, but for like an amount of, so stuff like this comment on the girls here would be a thing of the past. Nobody gonna be like, yo, people just accept things as they are and be like,
interesting.
Probably never happen, huh?
I think no. You know what? I think it will happen generationally. Personally, like I think it's something that happens generationally because I look at things now, and I can even look at this whole Odd Future Wolfgang thing.
Yeah.
Like Odd Future has made it, I wouldn't say acceptable, but like I see a lot of people right now on the internet who like freely like use the word, pardon my friend, but use the word nigger, right? Like free, like a lot of white kids right now, and it's like Odd Future isn't even trying.
I said nigger in the last podcast, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, anyway, go true. Yeah.
Odd Future isn't even making an effort to kind of say, yo, no, you know, yo, black pearl, no, whatever, you know, you can't say nigger. Like, they're really just a group of individuals that are saying, yo, we just don't care. We grew up around white kids, and they grew up around us. They grew up calling us nigger. We grew up calling them nigger. Like, we didn't even know, like, you know, we don't care about the history of it. Like, I think a lot of people are getting to the point where they just don't
care.
I mean, they don't care. I mean, and some of the white kids are like, why can't we say a word that is out there? Some of the black kids are like, why should he be my sworn enemy? I don't give a crap. Like, I think they just want to skateboard and some just want to do drugs. I mean, like, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Like,
yeah.
They just really just couldn't give a crap, you get me? So I think it's generational. I mean, probably in this generation, the fact that we have so much freedom now to say whatever we want to say, and there's still some remnants of racism and whatever. People are saying these things, and they're saying these things on these blogs and these Twitters, and some of them are trolling about these things, but I think eventually it's just going to get tired. Like, people are just going to be like, alright.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same if somebody saw like one of those like Jim Crow performances, one of those blackface performances, they're probably, I mean, no one will be entertained. Like, no one will be like, it's not even like, what is this? Like, sure, somebody in this generation right now, some might be offended, but probably the vast majority will be like, it's ridiculous. Like, it's poor quality film, and it's just, the acting is horrible, and he has a black
boy.
So that's mud, and what's that? What? I don't care, like, you know.
I mean, going back to the whole use of the word nigger, my nigger.
Yeah.
It's like it's being defanged now. It's losing that bite because you have, you know, these kids from these white kids who live in the inner city with them, and, you know, or just in the urban areas, they live there all their life with them, and everybody just calls each other nigger. White people call each other nigger, Latinos call each other nigger, everybody's calling each other my nigger. And it's lost, it's confusing to people because we have a generation of people who were conflicted about that, and we have a generation of people who don't give a crap. about that. So right now we just have there's this weird conflict and this weird, like what's the stance. But I mean, really and truly, like it just being defined, like that term is being.
Yeah, I get you.
It's becoming. I mean, it's like language. Look at language. Everything becomes. One of the easiest examples is the word cool.
Yeah.
Cool, as we know it, is the initially is to define temperature.
Yeah.
Something cool. It's cool or hot, something else. But then now, I mean, most times when people use the word cool, people hardly ever use cool to describe the temperature anymore. Cool is to describe. It's funny enough. You literally can't even give a definition to cool anymore. Like if you're defining something, you will use cool in the description. Like how do you even define cool anymore in the context of something being hip or
fashionable,
fashionable or whatever the hell context cool is being. It's like that. Like language becomes distorted and
like
new words. Yeah, language becomes distorted. Words become thrown. As in, like words are like the letters lined up beside each other. Nigga lined up beside each other. COOL lined up beside each other. It doesn't even the letters alignment don't mean anything anymore. It's literally whatever the context it's used or whatever time period it's used.
But then, what about?
I mean
the ER version.
ER. Yeah. I mean even.
But it's funny because that's defined now because like even when somebody uses the word nigger. Like the fact that you have to actually take the time to pull it out of the colloquialization, because I mean it was nigger first.
You're deliberate.
It's deliberate. So it's almost like you punch somebody in the face instead of faking it. Like,
So
actually, you deliver the punch.
Yes, it's a deliberate attempt.
It's even worse than it was.
Yeah, as in, I just feel like, dude, it's just one of them things that I just go like, especially nigger. That's one of the things that we probably
like if somebody take the you nigger. Yeah, I mean, because then there's no mistaking that for my nigga.
Yeah, right.
Let me ask that question though. I mean, a question to each of us. If somebody call you a nigger, right? Or somebody who you'd probably say should not be calling you a nigger, call you a nigger, right? No, how would you respond to it?
My heart. I think my heart would flutter a bit. I don't know. My head would probably start feeling a bit light. I wouldn't know how to respond to it because I think racism in Jamaica isn't something that we're used to.
That's the thing because I've been called a nigger before, and this is when I was in America.
Zine.
Yeah. I mean, I went to a summer program at a college. I won't even name the college. I went to a summer program. They had like a little program where you could go for like 2 weeks and be around in the college and get to do some of the choruses and see if you like the place and whatever.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm just walking to the bathroom, you get me? I'm coming out of a class. The class is almost over. I just left the class here going to use the bathroom. I'm walking. And somebody behind me is talking. And they're talking about how this place is just too much. It's in the ghetto. Because I mean, this place is in like downtown Atlanta. It's in the ghetto.
That narrows it down a bit.
And they're basically saying, as in, I mean, look at all these, I mean, like this nigger. And I turn around and I see this guy, he looks right at me, and I look at him, and I think he thought that he was being a little more like silent, but like he realized that I heard.
Yeah.
He walked past and like his friend must have like hit him on the shoulder, and he was like, "What? He's a nigger." And he walked, and I was like, and I looked at him like straight on. He turned around, he looked to see if I was still looking at him, or I looked to see if I was going to charge him.
Yeah.
And like I stopped, and I was like, I always thought I was going to care, I just don't care.
You didn't care?
I did not care. Like, I did not even give up not one fuck was given. Like, not one. I just did not care. Like, he said it.
Uh-huh.
And I just, like, for a second, I stood there because I thought I was supposed to care. Because I was like, all right, hold on. This is the part where I'm supposed to care. And started preaching black pride and whatever. And I just said, this man, I don't know where the man is probably now. He's probably strung out on cocaine and living in some.
So you didn't feel hurt or anything?
No, I said, dog, I did not do. Who is this guy? Who is he, dog? I don't know who the man is, dog. I did not even care. The man is spewing hate. And I don't know why I'm hateful. I don't know if it's that him can't pleasure him girl or something. I don't know. I don't know. Now. I'm just, I don't know now. Like,
alright, so how you think you'd have deal with that, Taj?
Boy, I don't know, yeah.
You walking down the hallway.
Yeah.
So, look at this nigger. Look, this nigger in front of me, man. It's nigger, man. You look around, and then, somebody was like, what, nigger? Huh? You gonna do something? And then, like, I mean, what do you do there, Taj?
Alright, well, by nature, I'm a person who, I'm not for conflict. I don't like to give people the time of day when it comes to conflict. If somebody wants to start conflict, I'll just shrug them off. Alright, I'm not gonna waste my life with you. So, just circulate yourself, and just follow the vibe over there. And I'm going over here. This never happened. I mean, if somebody constantly persuade, like if they constantly push something like that, then in that case, then alright, you want me to kick you in the groin. Yeah. I mean, you want to be kicked in the groin. You clearly want to be kicked in the groin. But I mean, if a situation where him do that, and I give him a look, like I see myself just give him a look, and like, you're a waste of my life, and I move on. Yeah. I mean, if him perpetuate it, then clearly something will have to be done. I mean, I'm not saying violence, I'm not saying, but something will have to be said. But other than that, I'll just be, you're a waste of my life. Yeah. I mean, it's clearly ignorance. And ignorance is like fighting with ignorance, arguing with the ignorance is an uphill battle in 20 feet of snow. Yeah. Yeah. With no rope. In sandals. That's what.
I can understand. Yeah. I can understand probably a black American getting like really upset because I mean these are the individuals who had to. I mean their parents were the ones who really had. I mean I'm sure that you had slavery in Jamaica and what have you, and then we had colonialism and what have you. You get me? Yeah. But this whole move for the whole Jim Crow laws and the segregation, it was much more. It was really, really, really much harsher in America, you get me? And this whole culture of lynching and whatever, it was really much harsher, you get me? So I know that it's something that from a very young age, when these guys come into their communities and they grow up and the youngsters realizing that they're living in the projects and there's nobody else around that look different from them, and they start to develop. I mean, I can understand how Americans react differently from a Jamaican. Yeah. Because for me, the only time I ever started hearing about the word nigger was when I started turning on my TV and my mother started telling me that there was once a time where
true.
people came across on ships and apparently they were niggers. And as far as I was concerned, I was incapable of. I mean, I just sat down in the morning to eat my cereal, watch my TV, go to school. So the first time in my life somebody calls me a nigger, I'm thinking to myself.
Yeah, I mean because I remember the first time I actually thought about racism. I think it was I was watching this Disney original movie. There was this one with this, I think it was in South Africa, I mean. And this white girl moves into this black neighborhood in South Africa. And she was discussing with the girl stuff that happened in her thing, and
the color of friendship.
Yeah, and she said the word kaffa, and then the girl didn't even know it was a racial thing, I guess, and she was telling her parents who were black revolutionaries, and then they were like, "What? She called you a kaffa?" And she says, "No, she was just discussing it, and it was a big deal. I remember that scene in particular, and then I even remember asking my parents, what a kaffa was, and and getting that thing, and I was like, wow, it kind of tarnishes the innocence a little bit. You know what I'm saying? To recognize.
You know what? Funny enough, why I remember hearing someone say that racism will never necessarily die, and the reason why is because we learn history. As in, as long as, well, this is not my view. I'm just saying that this is the person's view. That they're saying that as long as we know history, as long as we're taught our history, like racism will always exist because people will always have knowledge of that.
And I kind of agree with that. Even that Morgan Freeman thing. You know that Morgan Freeman interview where we're talking about Black History Month, and the guy, and he was like, you know, I don't believe in Black History Month, and the guy is like, why? And it's like, the interviewer asked him why, and he's like, well, why should Black history be squashed down to a month? As in, my history is 24/7, is in me 365, and like, and then I'm saying, you don't think that's so much.
I definitely do. I agree with that individual. Yeah. 100%. I don't agree with that Black History Month. As in, and they picked the shortest month, February.
Yeah, and I was even thinking that was coincidence.
They can't possibly bear 31 days of that. Like, that's why? Like, come on. I mean, I'm going to get into the whole, but no, I don't agree with Black History Month. That thing is ridiculous to me. Black history is all the time.
Black history, you must say, Black history is like American history. That's all of it. And it's like, so how do you think we'll get rid of racism? It's like, stop talking about it. Stop talking about it.
Right, but here's what happened as well there, because it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Because I said in the same way that if we stop talking about it, it might
go away.
Things might repeat.
Yeah.
Because of that lack of knowledge, things might repeat. We might have history might repeat itself because we have no knowledge of. Because you live and you learn basically. So. Yeah. I mean, they're saying that that can be an effect.
That can be.
People just them get a little cycle, them get a little poetry, and them just feel like them just want to come enslave man again.
Boy, yeah.
No, as far as I'm concerned, my personal belief of why racism will never die is because it will tone down. You get me? And then probably have a resurgence probably because of some big event. But in my opinion, people can separate themselves from other people. Like, literally say, that person is not my friend, or that person is not someone that I will associate myself with, because some trivial shit like, that person does not read the same book I read. People do that. Human beings do that. Like, we literally will separate ourselves from a certain type of person. You see me? Because of just trivial stuff, you get me? And dude, in my opinion, dog, one set of people have black skin, one set of people have white skin. See, it shouldn't be that way. It really shouldn't. It really, really shouldn't.
As in, like, you mean in biology?
Yeah. As in, like, the reality of it all is, like,
dude, like, I can't go as far as saying that. Because honestly, dog, the world would be a boring place if everybody was the same color. Like, cultures, I love cultures in a dog. And
I'm not suggesting that at all. No, dog, I'm not suggesting. No, dude. As far as I'm concerned, is the fact that it is the way how it is. Yeah. And people will all. Because, dude, first and foremost, let's not get twisted here, Yeah. The slave trade did not start because they just decided that they didn't like black people and they just. Dog, there've been slavery before. Yeah. They needed people to develop the new world. That's what they needed. And as far as they were concerned, they looked at the differences out there and they were saying, all right, listen, what's one of them we can exploit? All right, no, that person is black, right, so now that person.
Yeah, I think that is something that people kind of forget as well.
Yeah.
The only because slavery is just that slavery with the blacks and the whites is like the most recent. That's what we can draw for.
True.
Slavery has existed,
and even within races too. It's not like
it's not like a situation where it's a race thing. Like, slavery never started as a race thing.
Within religion as well.
Slavery was a start. Slavery was a slavery. Slavery is a completely different thing. Slavery, because the thing is, like, no, because in today's world, slavery and race go hand in hand because of that.
Yeah.
People say that. People see that. Once you talk about slavery, you talk about race.
Yeah.
But slavery is literally something. Because you have slavery now. I think people don't notice that slavery still. You have slavery in different ways. You have slavery within mental, slavery economical. You have slavery in different. So slavery is not a race thing. Slavery is is a whole different issue on its own. In fact, yeah, slavery is like, in fact, slavery is much larger than race.
It's a human issue.
Exactly. It's a human issue. It's not a race issue.
Biology is just symbiotic relationships, though, really.
Yeah.
And ultimately comes at. I mean, that's how naturally, like in our world that we live in, you have different like organisms that live together in different ways, and some of the relationships are parasitism, and some of them are purely symbiotic, where it's like both are benefiting from the other, and I mean, like there's really relationships like that out there, dog.
Alright, true. Well, on that note, we'll have to wrap up for this talk. Any last words, guys?
People, don't walk through inner city communities wearing jeans. I don't care which color. Don't do it.
Alright.
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 What little vibes.
Alright. Talking with Taj Francis, Matthew McCarthy, and I'm Ikem Smith. Till next time. Boom bam.